stock and quality of our roads, rail, air, and water transport infrastructure.
President Buhari gives timeline for completion of legacy projects as he opens mid-term ministerial retreat. You have done well. House of Representatives thumbs up President Buhari's efforts at cleaning up Ogoni oil spill.
A facility that is very, very beautiful, which APREP is using to make sure that water gets to the people of Eleme.
It is the day of girl child, and what a time some have heard as Nigeria marks it with different activities, decisions and policies.
Girls are futures of tomorrow. We are mother. We are meant to be strong. We are meant to be great.
Hello, good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. We are live in Abuja. I am Kenan Emma Abodike. Adeola Komi-Akere will be joining us from our Lagos studio. The federal government is reassuring Nigerians that the second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and other legacy projects under the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund will be completed and put to use within the second term of this administration. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance at the opening of his two-day mid-term ministerial performance review retreat. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The retreat, organized for ministers, permanent secretaries and top government functionaries, has as its theme enhancing security, fighting corruption and transforming the economy. Third in the series, the interactive engagement is designed to review the performance of ministers in the execution of programs and projects assigned to them upon appointment in 2019, identify key impediments and re-strategize on how to accelerate delivery of results given the current economic situation.
This is intended to harness our collective contributions towards generating practicable solutions that will guarantee the level of impact we can be proud of by the end of our tenure.
President Muhammadu Buhari is delighted that the tradition of subjecting government policies and programs to independent and critical self-review has taken firm roots.
These steps have helped to identify and strengthen weak areas, close gaps, as well as build cohesion and synergy in governance to manage the economy and improve the delivery of public goods and services to Nigerians. Ministers are urged to work closely with permanent secretaries to ensure accelerated and effective delivery of the policies, programs, and projects in their respective priority areas. All issues relating to the implementation of the ministerial mandates must be taken seriously towards the attainment of the laudable objectives of our government.
Government's notable achievements in the areas of infrastructure, transportation, economy, electricity supply, the petroleum industry, amongst others, were highlighted by the President.
Some of the notable achievements include the establishment of Infraco PLC in 2020 as a world-class infrastructure development vehicle wholly focused on Nigeria, with combined debt and equity take-up capital of 15 trillion naira. We are growing the stock and quality of our roads, rail, air, and water transport infrastructure. The Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund projects are also advancing remarkably. These include Second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Abuja-Kaduna, Zaria-Kano Expressway, and the East-West Road to be completed within the second term of our administration.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has been directed to consolidate efforts at strengthening the work of the delivery unit under his coordination towards ensuring the effective implementation of policies, programs, and projects in the last lap of this administration.
Efforts are also being made to empower the youth and other vulnerable groups by enhancing investments in our social intervention programs. I have approved the expansion of the National Social Register by 1 million additional households. We have established the 75 billion Naira Nigerian Youth Investment Fund to unleash the potential of the youth and to enable them to build businesses that will stimulate economic growth and create jobs.
During the opening ceremony, the Presidential Priorities Performance Management System aimed at tracking projects in real time and with live data has been unveiled by the President. In view of the importance government attaches to the retreat, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to sit all through the sessions lasting 2 days to listen to the cumulative assessment of his administration's performance. He will also join the discussions on best strategies to implement planned policies, programs, and projects that can significantly diversify the economy and sustain the current economic growth trajectory. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says with commitment and determination, Nigeria is taking stable steps in surmounting the various challenges affecting the economy and its winning. The Vice President at the ongoing mid-term ministerial performance review retreat in Abuja says the administration's economic sustainability plan, which he chairs, has performed creditably, keeping the economy above recession. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
At the end of 2019, the economy was looking very good, with 4 quarters of consecutive GDP growth and all the macroeconomic fundamentals looked excellent, moving on to much faster growth. Then, the unexpected stroke, COVID-19 bringing the world economy on its knees. The effect too enormous to recount, but with the introduction of the Economic Sustainability Plan as a response to the fallout of the pandemic, things are beginning to get better, as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says.
Inflation has trended downward over the past 5 months, falling to about 17% during the second quarter of this year, although food inflation, as you know, is still very troubling, and food production and supply has been affected by security challenges. GDP growth performance in the second quarter of this year has been a highlight, with an increase of 5% year on year, the highest since 2015. And I think that this is certainly worth celebrating. Transportation has rebounded to positive growth, 77%. Hospitality, 2%, and that's from negative. Real estate from 40% down to 4%. Trade from about 17% down now to 23%. Construction from 40% down to 4% now.
The challenges are still enormous, which the Vice President highlights.
The last GDP report presented by the Honourable Minister of Finance also highlighted major challenges to the economy. Of course, unemployment heading for over almost 40%, and loss of jobs since 2018, dwindling oil revenues, and dwindling on account of production, poor foreign investment inflows, both FDI and FPIs, likely due to exchange rate concerns and uncertainty around the repatriation of profits and security concerns. Now, I think that many of these problems are completely resolvable. I do not think that they constitute any significant, difficulty that we cannot resolve. But I think that one of the most important things is that there must be synergy between the fiscal and the monetary authority. That is absolutely crucial.
As experts observed, the nation has never lacked ideas of how to solve problems. Implementation and monitoring have always been the challenge. This is what organizers say the retreat is set out to address. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the African Development Bank is of the view that with progress being made in the recovery process, Nigeria's economic growth plan or rate will rebound to firmer footing. President of the bank, Akiwumi Adesina, made the assertion at the mid-term ministerial performance review retreat in Abuja. Benny Adams has the report.
Nigeria is part of a global mix that is applying all measures to not only survive the COVID-19 onslaught on the economy, but also recover and return to prosperous ways. To achieve this, President of the African Development Bank, Akiwumi Adesina, is of the view that Nigeria needs to explore every revenue opportunity in the non-oil sector while investing in infrastructure and financial innovations.
A young, productive, youthful population with access to education, skills, social protection, affordable housing, and medical care will power Nigeria's economy now and well into the future.
To help the recovery process in Africa, Adesina says the bank has launched a $10 billion crisis response facility with a $289 million in budget support to Nigeria. This is in addition to a $3 billion in support of local pharmaceutical industries in Africa, with Nigeria having a fair share. He says, with adequate investment in the digital economy and the agri-value chain, a growth rate of 2.4% this year and a 2.9% by 2022 is possible. Benny Adams, NTA News.
Now, away from the mid-term ministerial performance review retreat, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation says it will continue to investigate and prosecute directors and bank officers found capable of committing banking malpractice and other frauds, which led to the demise of banks as provided by NDIC Act 2006, Failed Banks Act 2004, and other relevant laws. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, NDIC, Bello Hassan, said this in Abeokuta, Ogun State, at a capacity building workshop for law enforcement agencies. Leko Abonde reports.
The workshop is targeted at sharing ideas with law enforcement agencies to achieve seamless banking operations and also to enhance the skills of the operators in the discharge of their responsibility.
For us as supervisors, what we advise the banks is to strengthen their internal control and also make sure they do proper background checks when they are employing staff, so as to ensure that they employ people that are fit and proper to work within the banking system.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says the commission has convicted some directors and officers found guilty of banking malpractice and called on NDIC to map out more strategies in sanitizing the Nigerian banking sector.
We have all witnessed what happened during the banking crisis in the recent past, so we should now use this opportunity to look at what currently is being done right and to continue doing that to enable us not to witness any other crisis in our banking sector.
The workshop, which had participants drawn from the Central Bank of Nigeria, Federal Ministry of Justice, EFCC, FMIE, among others, dwelt extensively on types and nature of frauds in banks and other financial institutions. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
In the power sector, huge investment is expected in 2022 as federal government proposes more than 300 billion naira for the sector. Joshua Ojita reports on some of the priority projects for the sector next year.
For 2022, 301.257 billion naira is allocated for the power sector. Among projects that will receive attention include Rural Electrification Access Program in federal universities at the cost of 1.25 billion naira, while 114 billion naira will be expended on the completion of renewable energy projects nationwide. 220.5 billion naira for multilateral and bilateral funded projects like Sungeru, Abuja Power Feeding Scheme, and Transmission Access Projects.
The president have done enough in investment in brownfield on the transmission grid infrastructure for, grid improvement package This is the first time that we are seeing genuine intervention.
Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project is receiving attention in the 2022 appropriation bill, with 200 million naira counterpart fund to be injected into the project.
Very wonderful. Our people are prepared. We've already sensitized them on the need for the project.
Also captured in the 2022 appropriation bill is Kashimbila Transmission Project and 430 million naira for the construction of 215 gas power stations in Kaduna, while 1 billion naira is appropriated for the distribution expansion project to utilize stranded power from the grid. Expectations are high among electricity customers that the investment in the sector will translate to improved power supply in the country. In Abuja, Joshua Ojitu, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Let's go on break. Do stay with us.
Everybody want enjoy. Everybody want love. Everybody want to glow. Nobody want party love. Everybody want joy. Who don't like it better? And if you wanna talk to mommy, seven. If you wanna talk your Friday, seven. If you wanna run on time, seven. If you want plenty data, seven. If you wanna go do seven. One more seven, he says seven. Let me hear you say this super number. Seven. For easy life, it no get you wahala. Seven. When you use the code, it be like you win the lotto. Seven. Let me hear you say this super number.
The whole sensational world of love, now accessible through one code, *777#.
The federal government, through NPHCDA, commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Hey there, what's on your bucket list? Would you like to travel the world, live your best life? What if I told you you could blow right this minute and do everything on that list? Airtel is saying thank you to all loyal customers. You stand a chance to win up to 100 million naira with guaranteed cash tokens in the Airtel Recharge and Blow promo. How awesome is that? All you have to do is recharge to win. For more information, dial *444*4# to enter for the draw. Everyone's a winner, so hurry now. The more you recharge, the more you win.
Airtel, the smartphone network. In continuation of the ongoing zonal public hearing involving all state executives, legislature and judicial officers, local government chairmen and officials, civil society groups, organized labor, elder statesmen, traditional rulers and the general public on the review of the revenue allocation formula across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission wishes to announce a slight change in dates for the remaining zones as follows. Southeastern State Zonal Hearing. Host, Imo State. Dates 13th and 14th October 2021. North Central State Zonal Hearing. Host, Kogi State. Dates 18th and 19th October 2021. Northeastern States Zonal Hearing. Host, Gombe State. Dates 21st and 22nd October 2021. Northwestern State Zonal Hearing. Host, Kaduna State. Dates 25th and 26th October 2021. FCT. Date 28th October 2021. All stakeholders are expected to effectively participate in the process and to submit 5 hard copies of their memoranda in addition to the soft copy on the proposed review to the Secretary of the Commission on phone number 0803-562-4400 before or during the public hearing. All memoranda should contain the contact address and telephone numbers of the authors. Signed, Management.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. Wey soft, make sense, wey care for me. Shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand is sure them
700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700 to 704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Unity and rebranding Nigeria is a dream shared by all. You are all invited at the pre-launch roadshow in preparation of launching of peace, unity, and rebranding Nigeria. Powered by Ambassador of Voice for Change Nigeria and supported by FCTA and NTA. Date 12th October 2021. Time 8 a.m. Meeting point at Ego Square, Abuja, Nigeria.
Brought to you by the Ambassadors of Voice for Change Nigeria.
Welcome back as Musa Abubakar now brings us business news.
Thank you, Kenneth. World Bank President David Malpass says accelerating vaccination and addressing poverty is key to avoiding lost decade and boosting inclusive and sustainable growth for developing countries. He said this at the opening of World Bank Group 2021 annual meetings. The World Bank President urged developing countries to ensure economic stability, leverage digital revolution, make development greener and sustainable, as well as upscale investment in people. He said GDP will return to pre-pandemic levels in many emerging and developing economies, but per capita income will take more time. The World Bank had forecasted that global growth is set to reach 5.2% in 2021, the strongest post-recession pace in 80 years. And out of stocks, it's a negative close for the equities market. The all-share index fell 0.38% to close 40,714 basis points. 191.3 million shares worth 2.5 billion naira exchange hands in 4,395 deals, and market capitalization at 21.2 trillion naira. FBN Holdings, EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, and Champs PLC are the most traded shares at the end of the day's transaction. That's business news. It's back to you, Kenneth.
Thank you very much, Musa. Now, the federal government is making concrete efforts to tackle inequality in education while providing a conducive and safe school environment for all. This commitment was expressed at a workshop in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child by Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, on behalf of the Vice President. Victor Azu reports that the workshop was put together by the Malala Fund, Nigeria.
Statistics indicate that Nigeria accounts for more than 10 million out-of-school children. Of this lot, nearly 2 out of 3, about 6.34 million, are said to be girls. 24-year-olds Victoria Chimbaka and Amina Yusuf suggest that the situation has become worse in parts of the north due to insurgency.
We have to be running and leave our houses, go and be sleeping on top mountain.
In my community, not everyone supports girls' education because they believe that girls will get married.
We therefore demand that decision makers take immediate steps to provide alternatives.
It's a situation the government says it is already addressing.
In 2020, the Federal Executive Council approved a World Bank credit facility in the sum of $500 million. We see you, we hear you. We're here to support you in every way we can.
Amina, Victoria, and other girls can rest assured that the future will be better for them. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Administrative activities at the top offices in the Ministries of Women Affairs and Education, temporarily took different shapes as 3 teenage girls assumed positions as ministers and Executive Secretary of UBEC to commemorate the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child. Ngozi Silva Technicure reports.
We serve for today as the Honorable Minister of State for Education. Please be seated.
That handover ceremony by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, signals the commencement of 12-year-old Nana Bashir as Minister of Women Affairs, while 14-year-old Dorcas Joshua as the Minister of State for Education. Among other commitments to address the challenges facing the education of the girl child in Nigeria, they gave their pledges.
Ensure school connectivity to internet with modern facilities for all Nigerian children.
I will ensure that the parents send their children to school.
I'm making sure that there is a maximum of 2 kilometers distance from a child's home to a school in their area.
The celebration of the Day of the Girl Child, which revolves on the digital generation, not without girls, climaxed with a policy dialogue where stakeholders emphasize on an all-inclusive approach to address issues of digital gender gap, early marriage, girls' enrollment, and transition to secondary education.
Our President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has a sure way to growth and development of our economy.
The major challenge in the country, among others, is the basic education provision, because that is the basis for the country's development.
30 minutes, Minister. Huge task, and they lived up to expectation. Major decisions taken, a great sense of belonging also fulfilled. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
Parental guidance, qualitative education, and improved security are the demands of the Nigerian child as the world celebrates the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child. Elizabeth Omariyi has a compilation of the celebration.
On the 19th of December 2011, the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 66 of 170 as the International Day of the Girl Child, to recognize girls' rights and the unique challenges they face around the world. Several activities characterized the day in Nigeria. In Abuja, a forum on drug abuse, personal hygiene and career choice was put together for students of Government Day Secondary School, Karu.
The girls' child, they should be trained very well. They are to be told what they are meant to do, what they are not supposed to be doing.
I expect to see girls doing things that they don't do before, I guess in different sectors in Nigeria.
Murjanatu Adam Said reports that the Tabitha Kumik Foundation also commemorated the day with out-of-school children, advocating social welfare for the girl child and protection against all forms of violence.
I would love to go to school if I can have help.
The support is gradually building up. Why we're probably hearing more about it is because the silence is being broken.
Butwa Mila reports that a cross-section of girls spent the day with medical personnel who enlightened them on reproductive health.
To you out there, I want to say to you, don't let yourself be downgraded by nobody because they didn't make you.
A lot of girls are molested, they cannot speak because of fear of being punished or fear of being sent out of school or something. But we are here to encourage them that they can always speak for themselves.
Olusheye Adeagbo also reports that the Girls' Parliament called for full integration of the girl child in digitization development through STEM education.
We, the voice of the Girls' Parliament, want to encourage more girls in STEM and to engage in tech-related skills.
Girls are now encouraged to go into this digital technology to have a grasp of how it is for them to be able to contribute their quota, which is why we also brought them out for 3 weeks now, training them on STEM to ensure that they are not left behind.
At the Africa House in Kano, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje temporarily stepped aside.
We need to enact policies that help develop the lives of our girls.
Abdullahi Mustafa reports that Governor Ganduje promised to address issues affecting the girl child. Meanwhile, The president of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Nawaj Ladibala, made a case for the rights, safety, and education of the girl child in Nigeria, urging government, parents, and society to tackle barriers hampering the progress of the female gender. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And in the meantime, the Nigerian Television Authority will continue to use all of its news and current affairs programs to educate, defend, and promote issues bordering on girl-child development globally. Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, said this in a message to participants at the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child, organized by ECHO Nigeria International. And developed Rusklin Sunday reports.
15 Available records from EduCeleb and UNICEF show that 38% of out-of-school children in Nigeria are girls, which represents 3.8% of the about 10.1 million of the total number of out-of-school children in the country. Here are some of their peers who are privileged to be in school. They converge to celebrate this year's International Day of the Girl Child.
When we invest in girl child education through digital skills, acquisition, and ICT-driven education, we optimize her capacity.
Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, whom the organizers described as a champion of the female gender, was represented by the General Manager, NTA International, Oganya Simon.
Information technology provides a very unique opportunity for every girl to meet her potential as leaders and change makers who can use technology to transform not only their lives but the world around them.
A platform, Girl Child Rights Advocacy Forum, which will run on the social media alongside the I Subscribe project, were unveiled.
When I see girls like me, how can I feel really bad?
The girls were encouraged to embrace digital literacy as they belong to the digital generation. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Away from the International Day of the Girl Child, with a clear understanding of the importance of history as a guide to future socio-economic development of any nation, a former president of the Senate, Ken Nnamani, has compiled his legislative experience in a book titled Standing Strong. Kenneth Nanim reports that Senator Nnamani rules in NTA for strategic media collaboration ahead of the public presentation of the book.
Having compiled his legislative role and that of his colleagues, Senator Ken Nnamani says the essence of his book is to keep the records straight with accurate and factual information that will guide upcoming generations on patriotism and purposeful governance. The wide reach of NTA's news coverage and the professionalism exhibited, the former president of the Senate says, compelled him to enlist the media giant's leverage.
It's not just about the constitutional amendment of 2005 to 2006, but it had to do with other things like Senior Bakassi and some other issues in the country, which students of political history in Nigeria would like to refer to as a participant and an observer of what transpired.
Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, commended the efforts of Senator Nnamani to preserve history for posterity's sake and obliged to the solicited collaboration.
We remember the past, not because the past was pleasant. We remember the past in order not to repeat the mistakes of the past, and in order to learn from the good things of the past. This is remembering the past, with a view to not repeating the mistakes of the past and from learning from the good things that happened in the past. So, Your Excellency, NTA congratulates you, and we're very proud to be associated with a project such as this.
Both parties concord that when the book is finally presented to the public, it will serve as a veritable tool for researchers, as well as an encouragement for public office holders to document events in order to preserve history. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, has, on behalf of the management and entire workforce of NTA, congratulated the Wongwom Jos on the attainment of 70 years. The DG noted that Da Jacob Gyang has proven over and over again that he appreciates and understands the enormous responsibilities bestowed on him as a traditional ruler, and has manifested in his commitment and devotion to the progress and well-being of not only the citizens and residents of his domain, but of the entire citizens and residents of Plateau State at large. The NTA DG prays God continues to guide, protect, and give the traditional ruler the required longevity to continue to serve him and humanity in robust health. 6 women and their 9 children from Chibok community of Borno State have been rescued from their abductors by the security forces. The abductees were presented to Governor Babagana Umara Zulum and his office at Musa Usman Secretariat, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
The 6 women and their children are indigenous to Chibok community of Borno State. Presenting them to Governor Babagana Umara, Commissioner for Women Affairs Zoaira Gambo said, Mariam Ishaya, Rachel Simon, and Esther Ayuba, along with their 5 children, were abducted in a church at Tukulasha community of Chibok local government area of Borno State on the 3rd of October 2020, while Alheri Ezekiel, Victoria Andrew, and Victoria James, together with their 4 children, were also abducted in a church at Kufure village in Hong local government area of Adamawa State on the 5th of May this year. Governor Babagana Umara commended the security operatives for rescuing the victims and further expressed optimism that all the citizens in the captivity of terrorists and other criminal elements will be rescued in no distant future.
I want to assure you that the federal government under the distinguished leadership of President Buhari and indeed the Borno State government, plus the security agencies are doing everything possible to ensure that the remaining ones that are abducted, including those that are abducted from the Chibok school and others, are rescued.
The freed abductees will be handed over to the state leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
We now join Adela in Lagos for more reports on NTA Network News. Hello, Adela.
Hello, Kene. The federal government is investing in the infrastructural growth of Lagos with the goal of facilitating trade and increasing employment opportunities. In this report, Michael Olaleye examines the infrastructural growth and how it is changing the spectrum of investment.
The dictum of Rome, not being built in a day, vividly fits into the persistence and steady infrastructural growth Nigeria has witnessed in more than 60 years. This is one of the major lanes on Broad Street in Lagos, and time, her healing therapy, has done a lot to give a befitting facelift to buildings and structures here. Down the road are stretches of bridges, expanding from a co-bridge to one of the longest in Africa, which is the Third Mainland Bridge. But the beauty in all of these is that successful governments have played a crucial role in developing this infrastructure to its present state. The last few years have not only been dedicated to increasing the volume of road infrastructure, but maintenance and reconstruction of new ones. For instance, the 11.8-kilometer Third Mainland Bridge underwent the removal and replacement of expansion joints, while underwater resurfacing is still ongoing.
What is of importance is the quality of work they are doing. And the quality of work we are seeing here is fantastic.
Eco Bridge also experienced the first major repairs since 1975, while the gateway to the nation's busiest seaports, via Papa Oshodi Oworoshoki Expressway, is totally being reconstructed into a reinforced concrete pavement in a contract worth 73 billion naira.
It's total for us and everything is smoothly.
Before, if you are coming from Apapa and you are going to Ojota, you spend nothing less than 4 hours. But now, you spend less than 15 minutes before you get to Ojota.
The upgrading of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to handle more pressure demonstrates the federal government's commitment to opening up investment using infrastructure. While the road network is being expanded, the resuscitation of the rail system of transportation is steadily progressing. The 156-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan rail line is already an added option to the movement of people and goods, and the testimonies are endless.
Diversification of the economy becomes more pronounced, and ease of doing business will be promoted.
The infrastructural transformation the country has experienced testifies to its rapid and courageous growth. These experts believe can only get better since the interventions are channeled towards increasing investment opportunities. In Lagos, Michael Aleye, NTA News.
Getting the society to come to terms with Down syndrome and accept those living with the condition has been a hard-won battle over the years, but this success would only mean little until it paves way for social inclusion with commensurate support from the society. This is the new goal as local and global attention shifts to the plight of people living with Down syndrome for the year 2021. Adeniyi Taiwo reports that a free medical outreach is one of the activities marking this year's Awareness Month.
It is October, their Awareness Month, and they are happy as seen in their dancing steps, which move in sync with the rhythm of the beat. A disorder in their chromosomes, however, sets them apart from the rest of the world, imposing on them a lifelong disability in communication, learning, and self-sufficiency. Blessing Usamoji is the mother of 35-years-old Matthew, the last of her 7 children, and the only one living with Down syndrome.
You just have to be taking care of them as you are taking care of babies. You know what I mean? It's not easy for a parent to have children like this.
Her determination not to hide or abandon her son is receiving support from the Down Syndrome Foundation of Nigeria, where Matthew and about 39 others are learning to become functional members of the society.
That is why it's good for a parent to make a move. Don't put them indoor. Let them move out. Definitely we will see support.
Some of our young adults here have been trained in different areas of vocational skills. They can do a lot of things. We have a barbing salon where they are functioning very well.
Happy that the society has moved past the practice of hiding children living with Down syndrome, Rose Modi, who is the chief promoter of the foundation, says measures must now be put in place to fast-track their social inclusion.
We are appealing now to both the federal and the states, different state governments, to move now to the next level by implementing the law, putting the right structure on ground so that law will be effective. That's the next thing that is needed.
This medical outreach is the foundation's way of awakening the world to the need to embrace and support people living with Down syndrome. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
We'll have more reports after this break. Please stay with us.
When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
We always start our day with a nourishing Kellogg's breakfast, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals.
Is available in 90 naira only, with 10% extra inside.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity. Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in,
keeps cavities out.
Enjoy Ayoba with MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Each journey has its purpose and tells a story. We are here to redefine yours. At Ibom Air, we are poised to bring game-changing, innovative services to you because our people are passionate, our partners are committed, and our energy is high. Fly Ibom Air to experience schedule reliability, on-time departures, and excellent services. Ibom Air, new experience.
Give your kids winning energy. Milo Active Go. With the goodness of malts, milk, and cocoa, helps them make the most of every day. Milo, the energy to go further.
Trust the Centrofresh Liquid Food Gum to refresh your confidence instantly. Centrofresh Liquid Food Gum. Trust the freshness.
Whoa, how hot is she? Very hot. Pick me. Just pick me, baby. Come pick me, girl. Man, I'm all ready for you.
So tasty.
He's so lucky.
Mini-Me, taste the fun.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1, sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
When times are tough, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. Its great value, it protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
Take this, Mom. You will need it. My tongue is craving something. I know just what it is. Twisco. That's my favorite.
Twisco chocolate drink powder is a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt fortified with Enofort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Mommy, let me go.
Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying with us. The ongoing remediation of oil spill affected areas of Ogoniland has been scaled up by the federal government to improve living conditions in the Niger Delta region. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the House Committee on Host Communities, during an oversight of some projects in River State, urges beneficiaries to partake in the development of initiatives.
The visit took committee members to some oil-impacted sites undergoing remediation and other livelihood support projects. Chairman of the House Committee on Host Communities, Representative Dumdeko, stressed that development projects in Ogoniland are targeted at mitigating effects of oil spill and bringing succor to residents.
In Ogoniland, because of course you are aware that most of our water is contaminated, and this one is one that we can say we commend. There's some improvement coming with the waterworks in Bori. Right here in Eleme, and we can also see a facility that is very, very beautiful, which APREP is using to make sure that water gets to the people of Eleme.
The hydrocarbon remediation project, HYPREP, was put in place by the federal government to implement life-changing projects, and the coming into effect of the Petroleum Industry Act will further enhance its activities.
The livelihood program is also gaining very fast speed. We're going to have youths who will be trained in the various skills that they have chosen to.
The committee believes human capital development will make more stable and conducive the atmosphere in the region. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Let's go for one more break on the news.
Mid-term ministerial performance review and the milestone of Buhari administration is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, incisive and educative on NTA at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
Once upon a time, an idea was born. It grew into one institution with a master plan. Since 1989, IBTC has evolved to become Stanbic IBTC, setting the base as one of the first holding companies in Nigeria. Over the years, we've expanded beyond banking to owning formidable business subsidiaries across 10 industries, all backed up with AAA Fitch rating. With over 4,000 employees, our presence across the country is further strengthened by our efficient network of digital channels. Our dedication to the Nigerian dream has granted us recognition 44 times by 18 awarding bodies in 6 sectors. We are proud to be champions of exponential trade finance through our partnership with the largest bank in the world, facilitated across 22 sectors. Nigeria is our home, and we are committed to driving her growth. So whatever your dream is, we believe it can be.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. No cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
When times are tough, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. It's great value. It protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems, which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
This na the story of Pekin, wey rise to the max. Rain or shine, it not settle for less. Na the story of small boy wey get big talent. Home and away. Wait o, e be like say na the story of one man wey fall, but wey bounce back in style.
Osime, wetin dey motivate you? I want day big, special and great.
Watching us live from Big Brother House Studio.
Joy for Osime and his teammates, and chuff for him as well.
Make we dey enjoy Max Entertainment together.
Sports or movies, telenovela or cartoon, music or reality TV. With just 6,900 naira, you sef fit get your GoTV decoder plus 1 month Max subscription. Make you dey enjoy over 75 channels wey dey for GoTV Max. Make you and your special ones dey enjoy better things on Max levels. GoTV, love it.
Manchester City return from the international break with a tricky tie against Burnley at the Etihad Stadium. Will they get their desired victory? Find out this Saturday when Manchester City take on Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo has described the 2021 African Refiners and Distributors Association Conference as the latest in OPEC's portfolio of high-level dialogues. The conference, with the theme Developing Africa's Downstream Energy Transition Plan, includes ongoing meetings with the European Union, China, India, Russia, and the US towards clearing contending perspectives on the energy transition. Lydia Sampson reports.
The dialogue with the African Refiners and Distributors Association is seen as a logical next step for OPEC.
The unpleasant reality is that the industry is still reeling from the devastating impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, during which investment declined by a massive 30% in 2020. This scenario of underinvestment, if it were to continue, could result in demand exceeding supply, creating heightened market volatility and an energy security risk to both producers and consumers.
The Secretary General says one cannot read a newspaper or watch the news without hearing about the impending energy transition and how countries and the energy industry might respond to this global challenge. Some extreme voices even called for discontinuation of investment in oil and gas. He reiterates that such views are both risky and unrealistic. He said, well, OPEC fully supports the need to decrease emissions and bolster innovation and enhance efficiency. That cannot come out of the cost of draining industry investment. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Now, sports updates with Tamara Ebiwe.
Thank you, Kene. Welcome to Sports Update. The Maiden Chief of Defense Staff Organization of Military Sports in Africa, Sahel Games, got underway Monday at the Aguyi Irusin Sports Stadium, Abuja, with participants from 10 African countries. Chief of Defense Staff, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation were among dignitaries at the opening ceremony.
This, of course, event is tagged Sporting for Peace and Stability. We believe that through sports, that friendship can be fostered.
The seed we are planting today will grow into a tree that will help us, to solve many of the problems confronting our continent.
It's a very strong message we are sending to those that can think the Sahel country cannot be together, cannot come together, cannot cooperate, cannot live in peace. We are going to live in peace, and this is just, as the Honorable Minister have said, it's just the beginning.
Nigeria faced Mali in the opening football match on a Tuesday. This year's NYC Sports Festival kicked off on Monday at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, says it is aimed at exploring the potentials of the youth and also promote unity.
The FIESA contributes to the nation's strides in sports development with the attendant benefits for physical and health development, social integration, peace building, among others, while it also helps the youth to appreciate our cultural diversities.
Helping the players to develop right from the grassroots level. And I think it's one of the things that the NYSC is trying to build on.
And that's the sports update. Back to Kenny.
Thank you, Tamara. And of course, Sports Updates brings us to the end of NTA Network News tonight. Thanks indeed for watching. Of course, NTA is still fighting rape and the rapists. Endeavor to join us. My name is Kenneth Ima Abodike. Good night.
NTA Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the Social Investments Program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
Support Service of the NTA.
We should understand that the well-being and the security of this country is the paramount to any government. Prior to now, we are doing more of defensive activities to protect our bases and fight the war when we are challenged or when an objective is attacked. But right now, what we do is to carry the battle into